Alright, welcome back guys. Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be doing a review of one of my favorite comics, Rose, by Image Comics. Now if Rose is something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon. That way you won't be able to miss any one of my reviews on Rose going forward. Now let's begin. So we start this issue off with Rose, Simon, and Frone chasing the bird again. And as Rose is chasing the bird, she unknowingly is surrounded by a group of unknown people, and they are kind of, I don't know if you would want to call it trapped or but they're just kind of surrounded by a group of unfamiliar people who Simon and Frone kind of warn Rose to just be weary of because she's a little too trusting of strangers. Then we go back to Felix and Ilya, who are still being held captive in Drusilla's dungeon. And this is where I really like this issue, because we get to learn more about her background and what happened in her childhood, which I really love. I love it when you get to learn about the villain of your story and learn why they are doing the things they are doing. I mean, it's so easy to make villains this day and age who are just mustache twirling villains, but when you humanize them in a way and the writers make you feel sorry for them, that's what I really like, and that's what this issue did very well with Queen Drusilla. And I'm gonna get into her backstory right now. We learn that Queen Drusilla is the only daughter of her father, the king, and through kind of Felix's narration, we learn that his mother, the queen, was forced by the king to have multiple children and bear multiple sons for the king, as you can imagine how things were back in the old days, when how kings would just want sons to rule their empire. But unfortunately for both the king and Drusilla, during one of these childbirthing sessions or whatever, the queen ends up getting sick and dies, and at that point is when Drusilla kind of turns cold. She always had like this close connection to her mother, we learn, and that after her mother died, she turned cold and blamed her father for her mother's death due to his constant need to have sons to rule many different kingdoms. So feeling guilty and blaming himself, as he should have, for the death of his wife, he pretty much spoils Drusilla for the rest of her childhood, giving her and getting her anything she wanted or needed to make her feel better, and just kind of just spoil her, and just how that kind of works out. He just wanted to give her everything she needed, that way he could kind of feel better about himself and not feel so guilty for causing the death of his children's mother and his wife. And then, like we learned in the previous issue, that even this came down to her finding a king or a prince to marry. However, this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, as most of the gifts he usually got her, she could accept or was pretty much happy with. However, the prince that he had found for her to marry, he did it out of kind of an alliance of kingdoms between him and another king. That way that they could form an alliance and pretty much be stronger together in that kind of sense of how kingdoms work. However, like I said, this is a straw that broke the camel's back for Drusilla, pretty much, as no prince pretty much was good enough for her, and nothing would make her happy, and that's pretty much where she turned and became the person we know today. And that's, like I said in my last issue review, she pretty much went to someone to figure out a way to become the queen of her father's empire, as she would never be able to become queen of her father's empire due to the fact that her brother Felix was in line to take the throne from her instead of her in the line of succession. So then we get caught back up with Felix and Ilya, and Felix kind of pities Queen Drusilla due to the fact of what his father did to their mother, and he feels sorry for her. And that's when Ilya kind of tells him, she did this to herself. This is her fault. She has no one to blame for her issues but herself. This was not something that her father did. She needs to kind of take responsibility for what she did. Now, I like this. However, I also do feel like the father should be at blame to some extent. So I kind of go 50-50 on that. I feel like this is something that, like, I get it. You need to learn your lesson. She needs to take responsibility for what she's done. But I also have to agree with Felix on this one and say that this is partially the father's fault due to his constant need to have sons, if you know what I mean. But meanwhile, us also at that point in the story, we learn that Felix tells Ilya that his people, or Queen Drusilla's forces, sealed away Throne, Rose's companion, and without him, she can't become a fully realized guardian. However, that's when Ilya reveals to Felix that they were able to find Throne and that Rose will be able to become a fully realized guardian, and that's when he kind of realizes that hope is not lost, and they might be able to stop the Queen from eliminating the rebels and all the guardians at once. So that's when they decide that they need to break out of the prison. However, at that moment, one of the prison guards shows up and says that it's time to move, and that the Queen is planning pretty much an execution of one of the prisoners. And that's where we leave off with Felix and Ilya's story. Now, this is interesting due to the fact that we know that they escaped due to some of the synopsises for future issues, and we'll probably meet another either prison guard or maybe another prisoner that helps these two escape and get to Rose in time to warn them of what's coming to her and the rebels. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see how that plays out in the next issue. Then we get caught back up with Rose and her story, and we learn that these group of people are kind of like a tribal group, kind of like Native American people in this kind of story, and they've been waiting for Rose, and that they can help her in a way reach her next stage to become a guardian and help her. So even though Throne and Simon have warned her not to go with them, she decides that this could be something that she needs to do, maybe help remove Throne's power, and that way they can kind of bond further and and that way she can become a more powerful guardian. So even against Throne and Simon's pleas, she decides to go with these people to continue her next stage of training. So they take Rose and her crew back to their hideout or base kind of place, which is called the Temple of Terror. And there's this kind of trial, I guess, Rose has to go through. However, Throne and Simon can accompany her on this trial, and they again warn her not to go on this trial, as they worry that they should not trust these people and that they shouldn't be here in the first place and should be returning to the rebels. Now, I like this, and I like how they're bringing up the fact that Rose is too trustworthy to strangers. This is something I really like, and I wonder if this is going to play into the fact that we know that Throne will be captured. I wonder if these people are the ones that captured her. I'm not sure, but it's very interesting to see moving forward if these are good or bad people. I'm kind of 50-50. I feel like they could turn out to be good, but they could also turn out to be antagonistic people as well. So we leave Rose off in this issue where she's going into the tunnel to begin her trial or whatever it's called, and she says goodbye to Throne and Simon and thanks them for protecting her and pretty much being there for her on her journey if this indeed turns out to be some kind of trap or anything like that. So I like how they had that kind of final departure in this issue in the event that these end up being bad people. Like I said, I'm 50-50 though. I think it could go either way. We'll just have to see how it plays out in issue 9. So on the last page, we got Queen Drusilla talking to one of our people who is informing her that Rose and Throne have been reunited. And Queen Drusilla is mad at this person because she did not want that to happen, because with the two of them bonding and connecting, that Rose has the potential to become a full-fledged guardian and stop her plans. So the Queen is mad at this person, and this person reveals that they had put a collar on Throne, which will stop him from bonding with Rose and stop her from becoming a full-fledged guardian. Now, also, in this issue, the reason Rose is going through this trial with these people is because she believes that this will help them remove the collar that the Drusilla's people have planted on him. and her have the ability to become a full-fledged guardian. That's the reason that she's going through this trial. And by Drusilla having this collar on throne, this is her plan pretty much to now stop Rose from defeating her and pretty much stopping her from conquering her plans. So I really like that. I'm interested to see how they use Throne to stop Rose from becoming a full-fledged guardian. If they'll stop Rose from becoming a full-fledged guardian, which most likely they won't. But I'm very excited. This has definitely been a great arc so far, and I can't wait to see what they do moving forward with this story. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on Rose issue number 8. Again, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon. That way you won't be to miss any more of my future reviews on Rose. This has been Vision with Blind Entertainment, and I will see you next time.